In a story some of you may already know, we have the Walt Disney Company doing what the Walt Disney Company does these days, which is fall on its face. A little bit of dismal Disney news coming your way, and I don't celebrate it because it's some very, very bad news. And not to, hold the headline for too much longer, let's just dive in to, something that I find rather disturbing. The story came out yesterday, and I just didn't have time to cover it. And as always, we are sponsored by my brand, beachpunk.us, the website with all of your beach punk needs. And when I say that, I mean we have apparel, we have shoes, we have, you know, all kinds of things. We've got mugs, we've got water bottles, towels, you name it. Do check it out because that gear is 100% designed to, support me and the people that are closest to me, other creators that I do work with. So anything that you're interested in, I hope you can find over there. With that said, back to this bummer of a story. It looks like the Walt Disney Company is confirming mass layoffs. And when they say this, it's really not a surprise, but it's going to be surprising where it came from because 115 cast members is no small number. And it's also incredibly telling. It basically speaks to the fact that they want to do contracts with people that are outside of a union, and they also want to pay people far less. They also are going to get less out of those cast members because, they don't work for the company. But that's a broader conversation and possibly even another story, but let's get into it. So they're laying off 115 cast members. So you have a total of 115 Shop Disney employees called cast members are being laid off from the Walt Disney Company effective March 24th of 2024. So at least they're giving them plenty of notice. Now the news was revealed during a video meeting on Thursday morning with the 115 employees that were affected. And of course, Scott Guston, who does some great work revealing these things over on Twitter, was the guy that dropped the news. So yeah, not great. So it looks like Shop Disney is transitioning to third-party companies with employees across the globe and time zones. You know what you're going to get there. And it's going to be, Dismal Disney. So these layoffs include cast members specializing in Disney parks merchandise. So now you're going to have people who are unfamiliar with all of this that don't deal with it other than when they get these follow-up calls, messages, however they are doing business. And they're also losing services for Disney's D23 events. So they're outsourcing to a cheaper market. Disney is, obviously getting advice from one of their board members, the fellow that came over from Nike, because as you know, Nike is all about cheap, if not free, almost labor. Anyway, so the cast members supported not only shopdisney.com, but the parks merchandise, Disney D23 guest services, et cetera, et cetera. So sources indicate that these layoffs were, and I quote, a cost-saving measure. Well, of course they were. With these positions being transferred to, here you go, Transcom, which is a Swedish outsourcing company. So you don't know who or where any of these people are that you're going to be dealing with. They specialize in customer service and technical support. So you take your guess on what's going to happen from there. Anyway, so this is in follow-up to the fact that they laid off thousands upon thousands of employees in 2023, which is, more than the people that Chapek was going to get rid of. Iger got rid of far more so that he could chop more than 7,000 jobs. And by the way, the 7,000 jobs was the minimum. And they actually let go more people than is actually revealed here because they also, on top of all of that, didn't even fill positions that were supposedly open. In fact, Disney has a lot of those right now. So the Disney company, while extremely profitable, faced some devastating financial losses over the last few years. And of course, they're going to blame it on the global crisis, which, to be fair, was somewhat the problem. The other problem is they just focus on the wrong stuff and people are walking away. You do have an economic disaster of multiple box office bombs. They have shaky stock prices because, the market understands what Disney's weakness is, and Disney's never been more weak than they are right now, unless you go back to the end of the Eisner era, and Then you have to, before that, go back to before the Eisner era. These are when the companies become weak, when the leadership at the top does exactly the wrong thing for far too long. So they're in Iraq. They're between Iraq and a hard place. They also brought in probably the worst decision maker post service, which was bringing back Bob Iger, and they're focusing on a turnaround. Right now, the Disney company still employs over 200,000 employees, the giant chunk of which are in Florida, one of the largest markets. This is going to continue. And Disney has a lot of different types of media services, a lot of different types of tech services. By the way, their tech is terrible. Somebody in the comments mentioned Disney is a tech company, and I'm like going, well, kind of, sort of, maybe, but not a very good one. If you've seen how cobbled together everything is in the parks and how their systems are cobbled together because they couldn't upgrade the legacy systems and they couldn't get the new systems to work well with the upgraded or the newer systems, so they had to create like a go between. So a liaison system in between things. That's what you get for spending over $1 billion on a project that ultimately would fail. And now the only way you're utilizing that project, and I'm talking about the My Magic Bologna Sausage thing, or NGE, the only way you're utilizing it now is to do what Stagg said he wanted to do with it, which is shake every dollar out of the consumer's wallet, which they are doing to great effect with great zeal and, with no compunction about the fact that they're offering the guests very limited value. Someday we'll have a lengthy conversation about what that actually did and how it kind of hamstrung the company in doing, well, broad improvements across the board. But anyway, regardless, I feel bad for these 115 cast members, but I anticipate that you're going to see many more folks losing their jobs over there. And I think they're going to come from all aspects. I think you're going to see more parks employees because the parks over there aren't doing particularly well. And Disney's only solution is to cut back on staffing, reduce staffing for the customer benefit, like for attractions and for food and things like that. In fact, one of the things I find most frequently at the parks when I've been there recently has been the dramatic drop in services and availability of services and attractions because reportedly, and this come from people who would know, most often they're running the attractions well below their effective volume or pace. So that's why you're standing in line so long, not because the parks are crowded. But anyway, enough of that. Let me know what you think. Do you think you're going to see more of these Disney layoffs? Do you think they'll come out of the media division? Do you think that this is just the beginning, like I do? And do you suspect that Disney's in far worse condition than they portray themselves to the financial press? I think all of those things are true. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see you.